So I didn't realize how addicted I was to saying yes. Not to other people, but to myself. Every week I had a new project, I had a new skill, a new habit, a new goal that I wanted to achieve. I thought I was being disciplined, but really I was just giving myself more things to carry. And every one of those things mattered to me, but that was the problem. Because when everything matters to you, then you don't actually get anything done because nothing gets your full attention. A few months ago, if you asked me what I was working on, I would have said data engineering, I would have said content creation, blogging, I would have said streaming, crocheting, building a business, reading, meditating, trying to learn communication. There was so much that I was trying to do that I was just overwhelmed. And all this while on top of that trying to endlessly consume my manga. I thought that being ambitious meant that you could do it all. And essentialism gave me something to really think about, which was maybe I don't have a problem with discipline, but maybe I have a problem with focus. The real challenge isn't choosing the good over the bad. The real challenge is choosing the great over the good, because we always want to do the good, but it's the great that really deserves our attention. When I started to reorganize my priorities, I decided to put Japanese and piano on the back burner for now. Even though I'd been working on them for a while, not very well, but still working on them for a while, when I wanted to take them away, it kind of felt like a loss. Not like a decision, but genuinely a loss. But that was where the shift happened, because I'm not quitting things, I'm just giving things a season. And Japanese and piano will have their own season. And that's what changed everything, because every yes has a cost. So you've seen this concept online, I'm sure, that if it's not a hell yes, it's a no. And this idea changed, and I've had this idea in my head a lot, but the idea has more recently kind of taken root, because every yes costs something. If you say yes to another hobby, you're saying no to becoming exceptional at the hobbies you're already focusing on. If you say yes to doom scrolling, you're saying no to reading. If you say yes to another meeting, you're saying no to quiet, to personal time, to time to focus. It's not about being extreme, but it's about being honest, because you're always paying a price. The only question is whether you're aware of what you're paying. For a while, I was trying to pencil my day to where every minute was accounted for. And then I tried to go live for a stream. I was late, and then OBS crashed. Then everything stacked all at once. Suddenly, I wasn't just behind, but I was stressed, I was anxious, I was impatient, and I was just reacting to everything at once. And then that gave me an understanding that the problem wasn't the stream, but it was my expectation. Because I built for a perfect world, but that world just does not exist. Now, I try to not assume that things will go right, but I try to incorporate Murphy's Law and assume that things will go wrong. And I try to plan around that instead, because your goal is to plan for reality, not ideal conditions. Editing is hard, not because it's technical, but because it's cutting out things that you like. Like Stephen King says, you have to kill your darlings. You have to cut ideas that you're attached to, even if it feels important, because I've started to see it differently when it comes to editing, especially in my blogs. Editing isn't just removing words, but it's revealing the ideas deep down below. It's stripping away everything until what's left is what you actually meant to say. I picked up Essentialism thinking that it would make me more productive, but I put it down realizing that I needed to be more intentional. I picked up Essentialism thinking that it would help me be more productive, but I closed it realizing that I really needed to be more intentional. I'm still trying to figure out what I want in my life, but now instead of asking, what can I add, I find myself asking, what can I subtract to give more room for the things that I find important to grow? And that question has already started changing how I move through my days. In closing, when I started this book, I thought I needed better time management, or more discipline, or maybe another system. But what I actually needed was less. I needed less noise, I needed less splitting attention, I needed less kind of commitments. Most of my stress didn't come from doing hard things, but it came from trying to do too many things at once. I'm still learning what deserves my attention, but now instead of I'm still learning what deserves my attention, but now instead of being overwhelmed, I just step back and I ask myself, what is the most essential thing right now? Not everything, just the essential thing. And honestly, that's enough to keep you moving forward. So in closing, I'd love to hear what small step you decided to take today, what lesson. So in closing, I'd love to hear what lesson you took from today and maybe what small step you're going to take going forward.